Now we are going to learn about arteries. Okay, it is about arteries which we are trying to learn. The arteries are the distributing channels which are taking the blood away from the heart. If you see the left ventricle, the left ventricle of the heart is the left ventricle. It is having the largest artery, which is also called aorta. So this aorta, this is called ascending aorta, arch of aorta, descending thoracic aorta. Okay, so this large artery which is present, this is called aorta. So in the same way, you have got many arteries, the brachiocephalic, common carotid, subclavian. These are all the branches we are trying to talk. Please understand, arteries, they are like trees. Arteries, they are like trees. As the trees are having branches, in the same way, the arteries are keeping on branching and branching. Okay, so if you see, to begin with, the large arteries are also called as elastic arteries. They are also called as elastic arteries because they are having lots of elastic fibers in the tunica media. But after certain course, they become muscular arteries. So this transition is not sudden. Suddenly elastic artery is not becoming a muscular artery. Slowly the amount of muscle fibers, the smooth muscle fibers or smooth muscle cells will increase in the tunica media. Okay, so the elastic fibers, which are many in number, as the arteries are going down into the body or up into the head and neck, so these elastic arteries, they show a slow transition and they become muscular arteries. So to begin with, they are elastic arteries which are having lots of elastic fibers in their walls, and now they become muscular arteries where in the tunica media you have lots of muscle fibers along with the elastic fibers. Now what are the examples of elastic artery? This we have learned, aorta. Also you can take the subclavian artery, also the brachiocephalic artery. These are all the common carotid artery. These are all the arteries which are elastic. Now coming to the muscular arteries, the radial artery, this artery is used for measuring the pulse. The ulnar artery or your popliteal artery, these are all the muscular arteries where the smooth muscles which are present in them is relatively more in the tunica media. In the same way, as you are going ahead, the arteries are dividing and dividing. Okay, and finally the smallest arteries, what you can see with your eyes, are called arterioles. So the arterioles are the smallest sized arteries what you can see with the naked eye. The lumen of arteriole is up to 100 microns, maybe 50 microns to 100 microns is the diameter of the arteriole what you are seeing. Now if you see, this is the arteriole. Okay, this arteriole, this is the arteriole. Okay, this arteriole further divides to form terminal arteriole. Now this is called terminal arteriole, which is coming from the arteriole. The terminal arteriole, it is having the lumen of 15 to 20 microns. 15 to 20 microns. And this terminal arteriole in turn divides to form meta-arteriole. So this is the meta-arteriole. Okay, so you are having the meta-arteriole, very small. So to begin with, the circumference or the diameter of meta-arteriole is 10 to 15 microns. And where it terminates, if you see, please zoom. Where it terminates, if you see, the diameter is just 5 microns. And here there is one sphincter called precapillary sphincter seen. Precapillary sphincter. This precapillary sphincter, it regulates the blood flow. The precapillary sphincter, it regulates the blood flow. Are you able to follow? So if you are talking about arterioles, the arterioles are the smallest arteries what you can see with the naked eye. They are measuring 50 to 100 microns is the measurement of the lumen. But here these arterioles further divide to form terminal arterioles having still smaller lumen. The circumference of the lumen of a terminal arteriole is 15 to 20 microns. These terminal arterioles further divide to form meta-arterioles. The lumen of the meta-arteriole is just 10 to 15 microns at its beginning. At the termination or ending, the meta-arteriole is so small, its lumen is of just 5 microns and it is opening into the capillaries. That portion you are going to have a sphincter present, pre-capillary sphincter, which regulates the blood flow through the capillary blood, which regulates the blood flow through the capillary bed. These arteries, if you observe, they are almost always accompanied with a vein. You know, if you see there is an artery, right? This artery will have a vein accompanying it, and also there can be a nerve accompanying it. So all these three together, they will be covered by a fibroareolar sheath. So what you are having? You are having a nerve, you are having a vein, right? And this is the artery. So these three together, they are wrapped up by a fibroareolar sheath, and this is called neurovascular bundle. You are calling this as neurovascular bundle. Okay, so this is the neurovascular bundle. If you see the artery, the lumen of the artery appears smaller than its accompanying vein. If you observe, the lumen of the artery is appearing smaller than the accompanying vein. Arteries do not have any valves. The wall of the artery is thick walled. The artery has got a thick wall around it, except the arteries which are present in the cranium. Except arteries which are present in the cranium and vertebral canal, those are thin walled, whereas elsewhere the arteries are thick walled. And please understand, almost always arteries are carrying oxygenated blood away from the left ventricle of the heart to different parts of the body, except two arteries. There are two arteries which are carrying impure blood. What are they? The umbilical artery and the pulmonary arteries. The umbilical arteries and the pulmonary arteries, these two carry impure blood. That's why I am using blue color. When you are drawing the pulmonary artery and the umbilical artery, please always use blue color because they are carrying the deoxygenated blood. Is that fine? Thank you. Veins are the draining channels which collect the blood from different parts of the body and finally drain it into the right atrium of the heart. Veins are the draining channels which are collecting the blood from different parts of the body, and this deoxygenated blood is returned to the right atrium of the heart. The veins can be compared with rivers because they have lots of tributaries. So small tributaries unite to form, or the small tributaries, they open into a large vein. And the veins, there are two large veins present in the body. They are the superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. They are the superior and inferior vena cava. That is singular. Venae cavae is plural. So So here you are having the plural venae cavae, that is plural, vena cava is singular. The superior vena cava is emptying the blood or draining the blood from the face and upper limbs, face, that is head, neck and upper limbs, into the right atrium of the heart, whereas the inferior vena cava is collecting the blood from the abdomen and the lower limbs. If you see the veins, they have got thin walls compared to that of an artery. And we have learned, when we learned about arteries, that an artery, okay, and a vein, when they are together, the lumen, if you see the size of the artery or the lumen of the artery, is smaller compared to that of the accompanying vein. What I mean to tell you is, the lumen of the vein appears to be larger than its accompanying artery. The lumen of the vein appears to be larger or bigger in size compared to its accompanying artery. Also we said that artery, vein and nerve, they are all together enclosed within a fibroareolar sheath, and then we said it is called a neurovascular bundle, right? The neurovascular bundle. Here it is seen veins which are of significant size, they are having dead space around them. Now what is dead space? Dead space is the space that is available for the vein to expand when there is increased venous return. When there is increased venous return, or when more amount of blood is pumped back or flowing into the vein, when more amount of blood is flowing into the vein, that you call as increased venous return. When there is increased venous return, the vein will slowly expand. And there is a space for accommodating this expansion of the vein, which you call it as dead space. Sometimes these dead spaces, they have lymph nodes present. If you see the dead spaces, you have got lymph nodes present in the dead space, which is basically for the vein to expand, for the vein to expand. If you see, so the sheath which is present, and that is giving some space for the vein to expand. And the veins, just like the arteries, they have also got three tunics: tunica intima, tunica media and tunica adventitia. This is tunica intima, then this is the tunica media, whereas the tunica adventitia is the largest layer in a vein, and 70% of the venous wall is formed by tunica adventitia, which is full of collagen fibers and the smooth muscles. And here we have got the blood vessels which are called Vasa Vasorum. The Vasa Vasorum which are present in the vein, they are very numerous, and they not only nourish the tunica adventitia, but they also nourish the tunica media, and sometimes they are even reaching or penetrating up to the tunica intima. The Vasa Vasorum, which are the nutrient vessels that are basically present in the tunica adventitia, they are nourishing the entire tunica adventitia and also the entire tunica media. Sometimes you can see in large veins, the Vasa Vasorum are even penetrating up to the level of tunica intima. The pressure in the veins is very low. It is 7 mmHg. The pressure in the veins is, because of the low venous pressure and the low oxygen tension, the Vasa Vasorum, they have to supply almost the 3 layers in case of a vein. And if you see the vein, it is pumping the blood. The veins of the lower limb, they are pumping the blood, or they are draining the blood. Draining. The veins of the lower limb, they are draining the blood against the gravity towards the heart, especially the saphenous vein. There are lots of valves present in a vein, especially the veins of the lower limb like the great saphenous, which ensure the unidirectional flow of blood. So if you see a vein, the cavity of the vein here we are having. So here is the vein. So you see here there are two cups, So this is the valve which is present. So what is the valve doing? It's maintaining the unidirectional flow of blood. So from the feet, the blood column has to ascend up via the leg or the crus and the thigh, and finally it has to come up into the abdomen and thorax and drain into the right atrium of the heart. There are certain veins which don't have valves. So what are those veins which don't have valves? They are the pulmonary vein which do not, the pulmonary veins which do not have valves, and the umbilical veins which do not have valves. The pulmonary and umbilical veins, they don't have valves. And what color I am using? For these veins I am using red color because these are carrying oxygenated blood or the pure blood. Pulmonary veins and umbilical veins, they carry oxygenated blood and they don't have valves. Only these two? No. There are so many other veins which don't have valves. In fact, the superior and inferior venae cavae, they also don't have any valves. The superior and inferior venae cavae, they don't have any valves. Also, veins which are less than 2 millimeter in diameter, all the veins which are less than 2 millimeter in diameter, they are also not having valves. Also, we have hepatic veins, that is veins of the liver, renal veins, that is veins which are draining the kidney, and the uterine veins, ovarian veins, all these don't have valves. So what are the valveless veins? To begin with, the valveless veins are pulmonary veins, umbilical veins, the larger veins like superior and inferior vena cava, and the small veins where the diameter is less than 2 mm, hepatic vein, renal vein, uterine and ovarian veins, these all don't have valves. The testicular veins have valves. The testicular veins in a male, they have valves, whereas the ovarian veins in a female, they don't have valves. Are you able to appreciate? Now, we will discuss more about the veins, that is the factors which are aiding in the venous return. The factors which aid in venous return. Thank you. Vasa Vasorum. We are going to discuss about it. But before that, I would like to write one more word. Vasis. What is this? Vases. Actually, the plural form is Vasa Vasorum. These are basically the nutrient vessels that are present in the tunica adventitia of not only arteries but also the veins. And singular is vases. When you talk about one single nutrient vessel that is present in the tunica adventitia, that is vases. Plural is Vasa Vasorum. Now you know, in case of artery, okay, we have learned there are three tunics: tunica intima, tunica media, and then you have got tunica adventitia, right? You have got the tunica adventitia, right? We are just trying to draw, and this is the tunica adventitia. This tunica adventitia has got blood vessels that are present, which are not only nourishing the entire adventitia but also inner 2/3 of tunica media. I mean the outer 2/3 of tunica media. Here if you see that Vasa Vasorum, the blood vessels which are present in the tunica adventitia, they are nourishing the entire tunica adventitia, and also they are nourishing the outer 2/3 of the tunica media. And you know, when you say artery, it has got blood in its lumen, This blood which is present in the lumen is nourishing the tunica intima, and inner 1/3 of the tunica media is nourished by the blood that is flowing in the lumen in case of a artery. But if you see a vein which is also having tunica intima of a vein, tunica media of a vein, and you have got tunica adventitia of large veins. 70% of the venous wall of large vein is formed by tunica adventitia. This tunica adventitia, in case of large veins, it is showing lots of Vasa Vasorum, that is the blood vessels of blood vessels. The Vasa Vasorum which are present in the tunica adventitia of a vein, they are not only nourishing the entire tunica adventitia, but also they are nourishing the entire tunica media, and also they can penetrate up to the level of tunica intima. They can penetrate up to the level of tunica intima. Why? Because you know, in vein the oxygen tension is less, the low venous pressure in the veins, and also the low oxygen tension can't nourish the tunica intima of a vein. It gets its nourishment by these nutrient vessels that are called Vasa Vasorum or vas vasus. Are you understanding? I hope I made it clear. So not only the arteries, also the veins have got Vasa Vasorum. Arteries which are greater than 1 millimeter in diameter have this Vasa Vasorum, and also the larger veins have got Vasa Vasorum. Thank you.